It's 8:31 right now. Con Ed crews are back on the scene of a gas explosion in the Bedford Park section of the Bronx, which displaced dozens of residents and businesses.
And a 15-year-old recovering from a gunshot wound after a fight broke out on a bus in the Morrisania section. Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson working with the NYPD to reduce gun violence in her borough. She joins us this morning to talk about this and a whole lot more. Good morning to you, Borough President. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again.
Of course, yeah. We want to begin with that gas explosion in Bedford Park, right? You know, what a scene that was when you look at the video. So were you able to visit the affected area? And what is the latest? Because this has happened before. So how do you kind of move forward and prevent it from happening again?
Right. Obviously, an investigation is underway. I want to recognize NYSM, DOB, FDNY, NYPD, and everyone who responded so quickly to the Bedford Park community. Gas was disrupted to the residential buildings on Decatur, Webster, Bedford Park, as well as to the commercial businesses. Right now, we are making sure that residents can return to their homes. The investigation is underway. Gas is being restored as we speak, but we really need to look at, our gas lines underground and what we can do to obviously prevent any ruptures or explosions from happening. It was very alarming Sunday morning for many residents in the Bedford Park community to smell gas in their community and be evacuated from their homes. But the number one issue is safety. So grateful that there were no serious injuries, but there were some people who were treated by EMS on site.
Okay, real quickly, any idea when those residents will be allowed back into their homes?
Very quickly, likely today, over the next several days, we get updates. We'll have a meeting this morning at 10 with Con Ed, just to get an update on where we are.
Okay. We also wanted to ask you about the bus fight, which sparked that shooting in Morrisania yesterday. Do investigators know who they're looking for at this point?
As of right now, no, the investigation is underway by detectives, but this stemmed from some sort of a conflict involving teenagers at the PIX11 bus stop at 168th Street and Park Avenue. There were witnesses and commuters on the bus, so we're obviously looking at any camera footage and evidence that may come from witnesses. A 15-year-old was shot Sunday afternoon. It's unacceptable, and my heart goes out to the young man, the teenager, and his parents. It's no parent expects to ever get a call like that. Too many weapons, too much violence, and we have to find better ways to deal with conflict. And that is why we're working closely with stakeholders on a new safety initiative with the NYPD moving forward so that we can better understand many of the patterns we're seeing of violence in our community.
Yeah, and you're talking about those safe corridors, right? And that happened on a bus, but the NYPD is taking a lot of criticism over what happened on a subway last week in Brooklyn. Now, I know it took place in Brooklyn, but I want you to weigh in on that body cam video. It was released late on Friday, and this, it took place in Brooklyn, but it could really happen on any subway platform. So do you believe the officers were justified when you watch the video in opening fire on that subway platform?
Yeah, I think many of us were disturbed to see that video, and my heart goes out to the officer injured and civilians, commuters that were on the subway going to and from work. Very painful to see. I think it highlights for us the work that must continue around de-escalation tactics and the fact that many cases, tasers do not work. Fare evasion is up, and that's something MTA and NYPD have to deal with. But individuals who are on our subways with weapons is unacceptable and highlights that we have to really look at mental illness and programs that really help a lot of people. The investigation is underway, and I'm very sad that this happened. My heart really goes out to the civilian who is currently hospitalized, who was on his way to work that morning. It's very, very unfortunate, and it really reminds us that our work must continue.
Yeah, we want to switch gears right now. I want to ask you about your confidence in the Adams administration right now. Interim Police Commissioner Tom Donlin, he's the latest member of the Adams administration to be raided by the feds. Multiple investigations are underway right now. Several people have already resigned. So how does this reflect on Mayor Adams, and would you support him if he runs for re-election?
I, like many New Yorkers, are very concerned about what's happening at City Hall. It seems every day we're learning about another investigation, another subpoena. We work closely with the Adams administration and all the deputy mayors because the work must continue. I think New Yorkers expect a government that is effective, that is responsive, and they expect services to continue to be rendered for all New Yorkers and taxpayers and property owners and everyone in our city. My prayers are to everyone that's involved, and I pray that everyone, comes out of this on good ground. ground. I fully expect Mayor Eric Adams to run for re-election, and at the time when it comes, he will come to elected officials, to the Bronx members, to the delegation, myself as a borough president, as a partner, to ask for our support, my support. I'm not ready to endorse in the mayor's race yet. I do have friends in the race. And I want to make sure that we make the right decision on behalf of the borough. So
you don't think he should resign?
Right. No, I don't think he should resign. And I think the process has to play itself out. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, right? The process has to play itself out. But I do appreciate and recognize that, you know, New Yorkers expect a functioning and effective government. And that's what we have to make sure we have.
All right. And I do got to squeeze this in. We're almost out of time here. But the annual Tour de Bronx taking place in 2 weeks. An important event for you. You'll be out there again. How can people register for the race?
They can visit www.ilovethebronx.com. It's the 30th annual Tour de Bronx. The largest free cycling event in the state of New York is happening in the Bronx. We're going to have a 10-mile family-friendly ride, 25 for the intermediate, that's the one I do, and 40-mile for many of our events like James Ford.
Yes,
Yes, James Ford is riding again. He's great. I'm not there yet at the 40, but I'll be at 25.
That's great. PIX11 is a proud sponsor. That is going to be a great event.
Thank you.
Be safe out there. Borough President Vanessa Gibson, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Of course.
Thanks.